On the south side, Chicago police say a 70-year-old man has died after he was pushed to the ground and beaten by someone at a bus stop. This happened in the Washington Heights neighborhood last night at 9:15. That's right around Halsted and 95th. You can see shattered glass on the ground and what appears to be a baseball hat. Police say whoever did this got away.
So let's start at the top of the list, all right? Yep, we're going to start right there on at the top of the list. And what does that mean? That means that we have to start with the crime that Trump has identified as a problem in the city. And so I want to start with Chicago. A 70-year-old, this just happened last night, mind you. Okay, I'm going to read the super chats throughout the show. This happened last night. This is not something that just happened 2 weeks ago. A 70-year-old man, I repeat, at the bus stop, pushed down and beaten senseless until he died. He lived for 70 years. Because now y'all piss me off. Now y'all piss me off. What does that mean when I say y'all piss me off? It means that they tried to tell me what I could and couldn't bring visibility to, and tell me that I could not talk about what is happening in the city of Chicago. Now, I do want to say that I also have an article about something that happened in the city of Detroit today, too, because I think that it is worthy of creating a live stream or having a conversation in a segment of this live stream about it. But they tried to tell me that I couldn't talk about, or I couldn't mention, and I couldn't have a conversation about what is happening in the streets of Chicago. Now, later on in this live stream, I'm going to talk about Operation Blitz that is taking place in Chicago right now. But before we do that, you know, we always like to go local. And again, I've largely neglected having conversations about in Chicago for a while. You know, we had the presidential election. We had a lot of things going. Brandon Johnson was running under the radar. But once we started getting news about different things that was happening, like the schools are falling apart and they don't have any budgeting, the teachers are getting laid off, crime is running rampant, things are happening. And considering that you guys are supposed to be the king of the Midwest, you got the biggest population of any city in the Midwest, then it's only right that the leader leads, right? And so there is no reason why in a well-lit area that the bus stop windows are broken, a 70-year-old man is laying on the ground and somebody had to call the police. And then ultimately they had to get an ambulance out there because this man lived 70 years of his life, 70 years of his life. And the end result of it was what? Beaten senseless, nobody in custody, no cameras.
A woman is dead, another behind bars after shooting Chicago's South Loop this morning.
WGN's Courtney Spinelli joins us live with more on this shooting near a school. Courtney.
Yeah, good evening to you both. Grieving family members and friends of the 31-year-old victim tell me she had just dropped her son off at school this morning when she was shot and killed. Now the woman who allegedly pulled the trigger is in police custody tonight.
It's so sad you can't even just think straight.
Not long after the bell rang at this elementary school Monday morning, gunshots rang out nearby, leaving a young boy without his mom.
I mean, what do you tell a kid? When you just drop me off, how do you just say she's not here anymore?
Are y'all more concerned? And I'm talking to Chicagoans right now. Talking to Chicagoans right now. Are you guys more concerned with whether or not people are talking about Chicago, or are you actually more concerned about the crime that's in y'all cities? Let's see. 70-year-old man beat to death overnight. Woman takes her kids to school and then gets shot by somebody while the kid is in school. And then the kid is going to come out of school and then they're going to say, hey, your mama is dead. This is not last week. This ain't the weekend. This is all within a 24-hour span. All within a 24-hour span, this is what's happening. Listen, all I can do is present you the information and give my opinion on it. When people tell me that I shouldn't talk about Chicago, I wonder if they say that to the news anchors too. Do y'all go to WGN? I was just looking at Mugo. Remember when we used to show Mugo on this channel? Mugo was a street reporter, and she was a black woman that was out in the streets every single day. Eventually, she got a promotion, and she went over and went national with CBS. I just seen Mugo doing a whole CBS segment on illegal immigration. I said, look at Mugo go. Do y'all say anything about the newscasters and the journalists and the news stations that are reporting this crime? Because all I'm doing is presenting what they say and then giving my own commentary and my opinion based off of the culture and my own lived experiences and the things that I see happening in the United States of America. Do you guys go and make videos about WGN and Chicago West and all of this stuff? Do y'all tell them that they're not supposed to report on the news, or is this only singular to me? Just curious, as we see mothers get killed.
How do you explain it?
Police say the 31-year-old victim, whose name has not yet been released, was near Cermak and State just after 9. Early information leads investigators to believe some sort of a fight unfolded and the suspect pulled out a gun, shooting the victim in the face. The victim was rushed to Stroger Hospital while the suspect was cuffed at the scene.
Shooting somebody in their face, blowing their brains out. Now, we not talking about normal people. Yesterday, we did a report on some more crime and guys that was punching chicks in Chicago near the Bean. Right after I Show Speed left, they was punching people near the Bean in Chicago. Imagine pulling a gun out and blowing somebody's brains out, point blank, period. Not even thinking, not even breathing, right after she get done dropping her kid off at school.
Not fair. The person doesn't come back. You need to understand that. They don't come back. Your life is taken too. So who really lose? Everybody lose. It's no win in a situation.
Kanisha works across the street and saw the aftermath of what happened. She doesn't know the victim, but is devastated for her family and friends and calls this preventable.
Violence is not the way to keep doing it. Nobody wins in a situation.
A family now looking for justice, as sources close to the investigation say detectives are speaking with witnesses and reviewing evidence to figure out exactly.
You see all of those old white men with them Chicago police uniforms on? See all of them old white men? See, as far as I know, I did a little bit of research. Detroit back in the day, in order for you to actually police a city, you had to live within city limits. So people that came into the city or people that recruited, you had to live, work, and play all in the same area. That used to be a mandate. I don't think that that's a mandate anymore. But these guys, these gentlemen right here, these old white guys that sit there and investigate, they just come to the scene. They get paid to pay attention to what y'all doing to each other. I truly do believe that y'all ready for war. When those guys got on TikTok and Instagram and they started talking to their phone and saying, yo, if Trump send the troops here, I don't know if you want to do it. The YNs is ready for war. We got switches. We got this. We got that. I believe you because y'all been practicing on each other for all of these years. You are ready for war. Absolutely. Black people never had to worry about, in my lifetime at least, ever had to worry about white people because the only people that they had to worry about killing each other was black people. The reason why we don't feel fear when we get in front of white people is because we're so used to it coming directly from people that look like us. I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better. For all of my OGs and my YNs that get upset at me talking about what y'all got going on in y'all culture. Y'all promote it. Y'all talk about it in the music. I'll do you one better. You know what's so funny? The same way that we don't necessarily feel fear when we go into other communities. Because, see, I can go into a crime-ridden, bro, I will walk in a sundown town. I have no problem with it. We got one right up here that they say is supposedly one of the most racist places in the United States of America. We got one supposedly right up in Michigan, right up here, right up the street, right? Probably about an hour and 20 minutes away. Go up there with no fear. Go up there, buy some pumpkins, get some cider and donuts, look white people right in their face and say, I wish you would. They ain't doing nothing to you. Ain't nobody worried about you. You got guns, I got guns, we chilling. I go into the trailer parks. Ain't tripping. Not even a little bit. Looking to buy their land from under them because I was prospecting a deal that would give me access to and then control the entire RV home community in one of these. I'm not lying to you. One of the deals that I have on the table that I'm evaluating is buying property that basically everybody is paying rent on over in these little trailer homes, RV parks and stuff like that. Went right in, drove in with my navigator, chilled, got out, went through, walked up and down and felt no fear, not 1 ounce of fear. Thought I seen a meth head. I said, yeah, we're going to have to clean this up if I decide to do this deal. Not 1 ounce of fear. Not even a little bit. And you know what's so funny about that is because white people go into black neighborhoods. I see YouTubers do it all the time. They play pranks on y'all. Y'all don't do nothing. Y'all not tough. You only tough when it comes to people that you feel comfortable being tough with. And they got to look like you in order to be tough. You won't do that to no white person. They come in y'all neighborhoods. They buy y'all homes right next to you, fix it up, and then move their own friends in there. And they make you feel comfortable moving out. You're not even that tough. I'ma just call it the way that it is. Y'all not that tough. We see white people come in and somehow they find the lead gang member and they do a whole documentary on you inside of your community and you feel tough taking your mask off and talking to them and showing them around the whole hood. Bro, I done seen YouTuber after YouTuber after YouTuber after YouTuber go in your community, the toughest part of whatever city, and this ain't just Chicago, this is everywhere. I see them come into y'all communities and go into y'all neighborhoods, and they have no problems whatsoever, and you welcome them. You roll the white carpet out. The same way that white people welcome me when I go to the MAGA rallies and when I go to the trailer park homes and when I go down there to Taylor, Michigan and Melvindale and Hazel Park and I see my fellow white apologists trying to make me feel comfortable and they practically calling me yes, master. Yes, master Anton. And I say, I like that. I like the way that you treat me. Welcoming me with open arms and hot chocolate. Marshmallows, anyone? Ain't nobody scared of no white people. Nobody is scared of white people in the United States of America anymore. White people is scared of white people in their own community. So's I. And black people are scared of black people in their own community. Unless you just so happen to be a woman that's walking down downtown Chicago and getting your lights punched out. That's different. But white men, white boys, not even white men, white boys go in with all of their cameras filming you. Tell me what's going on in your neighborhood. Why are they considering this one of the most dangerous places on the face of the earth? And you sit right there with your bandana on your head. Cuz, man, look how narrow these streets are. You can't get past these streets. If they block you in, it's over. And then when the white people leave out, you go rob somebody that sit right next to you in order to keep your property values low. And then you get on the internet and you say, man, I don't like that Anton. I can't believe you keep Chicago name out your mouth. And you ain't say that to the migrants that was sitting there inside of your police station when they moved their little kids right next to your kids and you had 60 kids inside of the same. You ain't do none of that when they was walking around in your neighborhood. You ain't tough. You ain't do none of that. You didn't do none of that. You was not tough at all. Ain't have not 1 ounce of smoke when Jorge and them and Jesus and my gente went in your neighborhoods and they was over there taking your resources. They came in and they took hundreds of millions of dollars. They took billions of dollars. They was buying your homes, and let it not be for Trump. They was going to be sitting right in your neighborhood talking Spanish, no English. Talking tough to me. What you talking to me for? I don't even know you. But you won't say nothing to them. They caught the bus. They walked through Mexico, caught the bus up from Texas, and went right into Chicago and was sitting right there next to you like, hey, neighbor. And you sat there and you took it. You took it like a G. They kicked y'all police officers' butt and you ain't have nothing to say about it. Nothing. Not one word. Everybody. Guatemala, Venezuela. Listen, y'all don't like each other. That's all it is. You know what I see? Y'all like Crips and Bloods. The internet is the Crips and Bloods version. And then they say, you know what? You know what's so funny? Pro-black people got more smoke for other black people than they do for other races. I see more live streams on people trying to figure out whether or not you a tether, you this, you that. You ain't got no power. You ain't got no smoke. You ain't got nothing but a banner, and you just looking to march on the next situation where you see a white police officer arrest a black man. Ain't nobody scared of nobody that don't look like them. You got to look like somebody in order to be scared. Ain't nobody scared of nobody. You want to know how I know? Watch this. Let me see if I can get this one up too.
Build a website you love with Wix.
I ain't signed into this.
Chicago police say they shot and killed a person involved in a burglary and car crash that injured 2 officers. Arnold Brennan reports the police have made 1 arrest and are looking for another person.
Chicago police spent hours at the scene this morning. Waller Street was blocked off at Chicago Avenue by police cars and red police tape. By afternoon, that scene had cleared, but there were still signs of the crash and shooting left behind. Latex gloves, bandage wrappers, and pieces of a car litter the pavement. Debris left behind after a chaotic situation on the west side. Chicago police say it started about 3:45 in the morning in Austin, near North Central Avenue and West Thomas Street. Officers were responding to a call about a car break-in. When police showed up, 3 suspects got into a dark car and fled. Officers caught up with the car at Chicago and Waller. That's when police say the driver intentionally hit 2 marked CPD cars, pinning an officer. Police say that officer opened fire and hit one of the suspects. Here's how the call came over police radios.
They crashed into the squad car.
2-3, shots fired, shots fired.
Shots fired by the police. Shots fired by the police. Got an officer hit by a vehicle and a person shot. Chicago and Waller.
You say YouTube don't like Anton today. No video wants to play. That's okay. We're going to soldier through it. A show got to be done, and it's going to get done no matter what. Even if it's a lot more difficult, a show got to get done. We got to get this information out there.
Chicago police say officers treated one of the suspects at the scene, but that person later died at the hospital. A second suspect was taken into custody and transported to the hospital. A third suspect ran off and got away, but dropped a gun that police later recovered. They found a
Somebody says Chicago is still a beautiful city. Don't let the news make you think that this is happening everywhere. Oh, no. We very clear. Listen, we can walk into places that, because see, Chicago is not just inhabited by black people or Hispanics or, like they like to say, people of color. Chicago was inhabited by a lot of people. Matter of fact, let me pull up the population in Chicago. Let's put it together. Chicago is majority white. Wouldn't that be something? According to this, here we're gonna break down the racial makeup of Chicago. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna prove something to you. Chicago has a racially diverse population, though demographic figures vary slightly by data source and year. However, recent U.S. Census Bureau data indicates the breakdown, and approximately 36% white, 28% black, 7% Asian, and 29% other. Maybe that's all of them other races that's been coming in from. We ain't gonna talk about that. So, got a significant Hispanic population. But here's the thing. You only see the majority of the crime happening here and here. That's it. Here. So here's the thing. They say that Chicago is beautiful outside of where they reporting in the hood. Why is it not beautiful in the places that do the majority of the crime? Makes you think, don't it? Y'all not even the majority of the population, but y'all majority on the news. Makes you think, don't it? Starts to put things in perspective when you start to look at the data. Y'all act right when y'all go into certain neighborhoods and around certain college campuses, but when you get home, you act out. When you get home, you act out. But when you go out, when you go into the places where my fellow Caucasians are, you feel like you need to start acting like you got some sense. No, you want to act like you got some sense. I don't see these crimes being perpetuated in places where majority white people live. Could it be that you don't actually respect the people that you live next to?